Hi, I'm Bob,
I'm Princess.
and together we are going to be talking about a topic today that a lot of people are probably going to be interested in it, and that is boundaries in dating. Specifically, we're going to look at a profile first. For this video, we're going to focus on a dating profile. I absolutely hate telling this story, but Princess and I met online. And I don't know why I'm so embarrassed about talking about meeting somebody online, but we were visiting my son and his fiance in San Diego, and of course the conversation came up, how did you two meet? And I kind of looked at Princess and I was thinking, and then I think didn't you say online finally?
Yeah, I did say that.
So Princess is the one that said online, and Corey goes, well, everybody meets online. So one of the things that I wanted to talk about is why Princess's profile caught my eye. It was unlike any profile, and not that I have a lot of experience on dating profiles, but it was different than any dating profile I had ever seen, in that she very clearly stated her boundaries, the boundaries that she wanted to have in her dating situation. And they seemed pretty severe, but the way she worded them made perfect sense. And so I thought for this video we would mostly talk about Princess's profile and how she came to design that profile and the boundaries that she laid out in the profile. Fair enough? I'm going to ask Princess to just explain what it is that she wrote in her profile regarding boundaries and how she came to those boundaries. So, Princess?
Yes, so have been to different dating sites before I joined this particular dating site where I met Bob. And when I was writing the profile, I was very intentional. And that's because I was just done and over with trying to put out, a very attractive profile that will make, all kinds of people to reach out to you. I was just done with that. So my profile was, I think what motivated me to write that profile, or I should say was a combination of my personal values and my perspective to single parenting. And I was very intentional, and as a child advocate have done a lot of work on children's rights. And from my research, I could establish that most of the problems we have with child abuse and child neglect is as a result of single parenting. A lot of people going to parenthood without even having plans, and they end up having these children with no care, and they end up having being abused, and all those culminated my desire to do more in that field. So when I was putting out that profile, I was very, very clear, it was unambiguous. So I really wanted a genuine person, and I put it out there straightforward to say, okay, no sex. I know that sounds weird to a lot of people, but I was very intentional. Like I rightly said, I was very intentional. I wasn't ready to go into a relationship with a man, that's willing to just have sex before marriage. So I told myself it's gonna be no sex before marriage. So I put out the profile and I wrote everything I wanted in my man, and alas, that caught his attention.
It sure did. So in that context, what I saw didn't feel restrictive. It was a woman that knows what she wants. She's intentional. She wrote what she was looking for, what she wanted. And to be honest, I'm from the United States. I grew up in the 60s and 70s. I'm a little older. And I'm used to all the free love and sex and all that kind of thing that is in our culture these days. But I have also been thinking as I've grown in that hasn't worked out for a lot of people. And I just looking at the statistics of single family or single parent households these days, they're through the roof, and we're having a lot of trouble with that, with the kids and that kind of thing. And Princess's work as an attorney and a child advocate, she really pretty much laid out the case for why it's so important to have a two-person family, to have two parents in a family, and that it just made sense to me that's how I want to begin too. That's how I want to begin a relationship too. Okay, so let's talk about the actual boundaries that Princess laid out. And Princess, what were they?
Okay, so after we met, we got talking, and it seems to us that we want to give it a shot, and I lay out my boundaries, and these are the boundaries I laid out to him. I'm like, okay, Bob, if you're gonna go into this relationship, I'm sorry, it's gonna be no sex before marriage, no kissing at all. I know it's funny, and it sounds funny to a lot of people, but those were my boundaries, and we're able to keep within those boundaries.
Yeah, those are her boundaries, and as I said, they on the outside they seem pretty extreme. I've not been in a relationship where I dated somebody for months and not kissed. It just didn't seem right. So the downside I was worried about is what I'm missing out. I mean, I'm missing out. She's beautiful. I'm attracted to her. I love everything about her. Naturally, I want to progress. I want to go to those places that violate her boundaries. But she is uncompromising in that. So what is the benefit of that to me? How has that turned into a benefit? And to me, I see it playing out as just one of the most unexpected and wonderful benefits that I've ever experienced, in that we have spent so much time talking and trying to learn about each other. And the more we talk, the more curious I am about her, the more I want to know, the more I care about her. I didn't know how wonderful it was just to hold somebody's hand or to put my arm around them. Those kind of experiences get diluted when people are kissing passionately and having sex. You just skip over those things.
Yeah.
And I feel like I would have missed out more on those things. Just the
Right.
joy of holding your hand,
Yeah.
the joy of putting my arm around you, and to the point where the more I learned and the more I wanted to know. So I started looking online for questions. How can we get to
Yeah.
know each other more? What are some ways we can develop more emotional intimacy before the physical intimacy? So to me, that building that relationship and just the experience of how beautiful holding a hand is, and taking the time to really ask her deep questions and have deep conversations.
Yeah, we had tons of those ones. Those questions.
Lots of questions.
Yeah, a lot of questions.
But I feel like we know each other more
Yeah.
because we weren't distracted
Yes.
with other things.
Right.
All right, let's get into some specifics. And the first thing would be clearly outlining your dating intentions. And I'll throw this back to Princess.
Okay. Yeah, so I'm gonna talk a bit on your intentions, and I'm gonna be gender biased at this point, a little here. So as a woman, you want to set your boundaries. I don't think there's anything wrong in you trying to really be clear about your intentions when you're trying to date or when you're trying to connect to someone for marriage. So we have different reasons why we want to get on dating sites. A lot of people, they just want to have fun. But if you think you are, serious minded, you really want to date to get married, and you really want to ensure that you meet the right person, it is very important that you are very clear, or you clearly laid out your dating boundaries, and don't be ashamed to let the man know your dating boundaries. There's nothing wrong in that. I know a lot of people, socially influenced by so many things going on around them, And most importantly, when you think you are due for marriage and you want to get married, you know, a lot of women are willing to just do everything, you know, at their disposal to get hooked and, you know, just move on. But it's very important that you lay out your boundaries. Let it be very clear, unambiguous. Let the man know that this is what you want. A man that is not committed or intentional, you know, would just, I mean, there's nothing wrong in just letting the wrong people go. I have compromised in the past, and I think, you know, I really got to a point that I told myself there is no need for doing that anymore. Just be yourself. Make sure that you have the right, you know, intentions about yourself. Put out the boundaries. There's nothing wrong in that. Have your standard laid out. The right person will locate you. The right person will meet you right there. So as a woman, that's why I said I'm gonna be a big gender bias. As a woman, you're trying to date to get married. There's nothing wrong in you having boundaries, and there's nothing wrong in you being intentional about your boundaries.
So what I heard and what I read in Princess's profile was someone who loves herself, someone who respects herself, and someone who knows what she wants, and is going about getting that, or was going about getting that fearlessly. So I guess the first stop, or the first stage, would be, what do you want? Do you want something casual? Do you want to get married? Do you want something serious? What do you want? And what does that look like? And what guardrails or boundaries do you have to set up in order to make that happen? You know, do you want a relationship that leads to marriage? Do you want something casual? Do you want to just have fun? Whatever you want, you know. But if you need to be clear that if you want something that leads to marriage and you don't want something casual,
Yeah.
just be nice and say, you know, if you're looking for something casual, that's fine.
Yeah, you don't have to compromise, you know, just have to be clear.
Right. You know, if you're looking for something casual, best of luck to you. That's just not what I'm looking for. So.
Yeah, so how were we able to keep within those boundaries while we're dating? I mean, of course, it was a bit difficult, and I think maybe for Bob it was difficult for me, but as a man, you know, probably that was a bit difficult for him, but we were able to achieve that goal. That's what to me was very important. So we built more on our emotional intimacy as opposed to physical intimacy, and you know, we were always together most of the time. You know, we try to maximize our time together to do, you know, we gave our time, you know, quality. We were into quality time, spending time together, exploring, you know, all kinds of things. Instead of focusing on the physical intimacy, we were engaged in so many activities. You know, we did a lot of things. You know, we maximized our time together. So even while we're dating, we actually, you know, took a trip, you know, to some states, and we were still able to keep within our boundaries. So that was very good. So what we did basically was just focusing more on ourselves, getting to know each other better, you know, learning about ourselves, and trying to, you know, focus our attention on other things that were more profitable to our relationship than our physical bodies.
I agree. And for me, that experience, especially the experience traveling together, I was worried about it because we were going to be spending 24 hours at a time
Yeah.
over a week together. And in many places, there was one bed involved. So how was that going to work?
But it's worked.
It worked. It worked fine. It was tempting sometimes, and you know, but at the same time, I think we're both committed.
Right. That's about us being intentional about ourselves. So, and that takes us to us being able to set our goals. We knew what we wanted. And that's another way for you to know, you know, if a man or a lady is committed to that relationship. So when a man truly loves you, I think he'll be able to keep within those boundaries. So Bob did so well that, I mean, all through our trips, you know, he was able to keep within those boundaries, and I really appreciate him for that.
Well, I feel like early on I knew this was the real deal.
Yeah.
And I knew this woman is unlike anyone I've ever known, and I'm not going to mess it up. Was it hard? Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah.
But I just made the decision in my heart and my head. I'm in, and I'm going to ride this out all the way,
Yes.
whatever it takes, because I want to be with her. I wanted to be with her, and I don't want to go on too long about the rewards, but it's been, for me, the most rewarding experience I've ever had as far as a relationship, because it feels like we both have integrity in this relationship.
Yes.
And that's how I want to carry, that's what I want to carry the rest of our lives together, is that integrity that we're building by being faithful to these boundaries. So as we get close to wrapping up this video, we just want to do a little recap. It seems pretty simple, really. What the foundation to me of this whole thing when it comes to dating, a dating profile, is to know what you want and set your expectations and your intentions, and be true to yourself. Have enough self-love to have the self-discipline to do some of these things. Just some other minor tips that you can get on anything would be use current photos, and but mostly just be authentic, be honest, be yourself, set your expectations and intentions. And I guess my question to you as listeners is, what do you have to lose? What do you have to lose by just redoing a profile and trying to do it this way? Versus all the party pictures and the pictures of travel and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I think I had just one picture.
She had one picture. And it was a nice picture, but it was still, you had sunglasses on.
Yeah.
I didn't even get to see her eyes. But the message was so important and so powerful to me that the picture became irrelevant. It just became irrelevant. So my question is, what do you have to lose? Try doing a profile this way and just see what happens.
And speaking of creating a good profile, it's very important that you are true to yourself. A lot of people put out what they are not on their dating site. I don't think that's advisable. I think when you are writing out your profile, try to be true to yourself. Let it be a reflection of who you are. Because, in no time, the dude is going to get to know you. So just be honest about your profile.
That's a great way to wrap it up. So if you found this helpful, please like what you see here. Please like it, subscribe, and if possible, share with other people that are maybe considering getting into the dating world or setting up dating profiles. Please share with them also. Thanks for your time.
Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.
Next video.